Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do a full in-depth review of all 23 gang members that I created in LEGO. Obviously I did make a video a few months ago showing my minifigures, but since then they have been upgraded and I kind of just wanted to do a full showcase of the final look at all 23 minifigures, including Mary Beth and Karen, which I did leave out in my original video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting things off with the man himself, Arthur Morgan. So yeah, this is my custom design that I made for Arthur. I really love it. So I came up with it, I think it was in June, like early June. I kind of made this design because I knew that the Indiana Jones Lego set just came out that had this little molded hairpiece, and I was like, that would be perfect for Arthur, because in the past, whenever I'd make Arthur, I would just give him a normal hat, and I never really liked how it looked, but having the hair in the back really kind of just brings this minifigure together. But yeah, I just love how it looks. I did go for his summer gunslinger attire, and yeah, I just think it's really good. And not to brag, but I do think this is the best custom Arthur Morgan that I have seen on the internet. And that's why I am very proud of it. I think that it looks really nice, and feel free to use this design. I do have a few tutorials on how to make it, but yeah, so that is the man himself, Arthur Morgan. Here we have my personal favorite character from Red Dead Redemption, that being John Marston. So yeah, this is based off of his look before the epilogue, so whenever the gang was all together, sort of, you know, whenever he was younger. And that is shown through his longer hair. You know, he had some pretty long hair whenever the gang was around. And he has a scar on his face as well, and then, you know, just his sort of gunslinger attire that he wore. I really like how this figure came out. I think that the dual molded hair and hat combo really kind of just brought it together. That piece is from the Butch Cavendish minifigure from Lone Ranger. But yeah, John is just my favorite. I think Arthur's really good too, but I just had nostalgia for John because I did play Red Dead 1 whenever it came out. The leader of the gang, we got Dutch Vanderlyn here. Pretty simple design. I think that using Ringo Starr's head there worked really nice because it has the sideburns and sort of like goatee mustache situation that Dutch has. But yeah, other than that, just used a combination of Lone Ranger, like the Lone Ranger's torso and then feet there. But yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. Just give him some black slick back hair there. And yeah, that's Dutch Vanderlyn. Such a great character. The voice acting for Dutch was immaculate. And you know, even though in the end he did turn out bad, I feel like he's still such a great character. And yeah, he's pretty cool. Hosea Matthews, what a great character as well. Sort of like a father figure to Arthur, and a lot of people in the gang as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed Hosea Matthews. Apparently his voice actor played Quandale Dingle. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I just think he's a really good character. My design for the figure, I think, worked out pretty nice. I tried to do like his blue vest with the red like handkerchief that he wears. And this is sort of what I came up with. Yeah, I like it, and the face is old Han Solo's face, which I think actually looks quite a bit like Hosea. So yeah. Here is Micah Bell, the rat. Yeah, what a great character though. Even though he was a horrible person in the game, he was just so well written. You know, if Rockstar is able to make a character that people hate as much as Micah, they're doing something right, because, you know, they're able to get emotions out of people through his character. And yeah, but here's my design that I went with for him. Obviously got his white hat there, old Rex's face, which works really nice for the big bushy beard and his blonde. I have considered in the past getting another Butch Cavendish so I could like paint the hair and hat, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because the plastic is dark on that hairpiece and it's hard to paint light colors on the dark plastic. So yeah, and then the torso would pretty much be perfect if that vest in the middle was red instead of blue, but I'm okay with it. And then obviously got his light tan pants and his double revolvers. So yeah, pretty cool minifigure. And again, Micah is just such a well-written character, even though he is horrible. One of the drippiest characters in the game, we got Javier Escuella. You know, it was just cool to see him in the game return from Red Dead 1. And yeah, like I said, very drippy. He just has the coolest outfits. So this character is actually pretty easy to make. If you get the Pinata Boy from, I don't know what CMF series it is, but it comes with this poncho. And I think it works very well for Javier. And then I painted a clone face by giving him a little, you know, beard situation. Gave him a black bowler hat, and then the rest you can see on screen here. And I gave him a guitar. So yeah, I actually really liked Javier's character in the second game. Too bad that he had to side with Dutch, but it is what it is. Another fabulous character is Charles Smith. Fun fact, his voice actor is the same guy that voiced Bo Kuna in Jedi Survivor, so that's kind of cool. Two very good characters. But yeah, Charles Smith, you know, kind of like he's Native American. I think his like mother was Native American or something. So yeah, you know, you can see he has his bow and arrow there. And yeah, I think the first time I made Charles, I used a really weird torso, but this time around I gave him this sweater because he kind of does wear like a little sweater situation, and I think this looks a lot better. So yeah, that is my Charles Smith minifigure. A minifigure that I think turned out really good for no reason is Reverend Swanson. I don't know, I just think that the hair and face combo really just kind of nailed his look. And yeah, I gave him his sort of signature, you know, drunken, rolled up sleeves, in the like preacher suit that he wears with his bottle there. And yeah, I just think that it looks really cool. I think it looks a lot like Reverend. And you know, as for Reverend himself, I thought he was a interesting character. I never could really tell what his purpose for being in the game was. I mean, he kind of just tagged along, you know, he never really was he was never really in any firefights or anything, but, you know, pretty interesting character, and I really like how his minifigure turned out. This is another one that I'm really proud of. It is Bill Williamson. From the 3 times I've kind of made him, he has upgraded, or been upgraded a lot. Obviously, I made him for the first time in 2020, then at the beginning of this past summer, and then now he just looks way better. I think that by getting this flat top with the bend hat just was perfect for him, as well as the face and the torso and leg combo. Just looks really good. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, on the back here, it's not covered up so you can see the back of the head, but that's why I just keep him facing forward. But yeah, Bill Williamson, you know, it's kind of crazy because you kind of hate him in the first game because, you know, he shoots John at the beginning. But they made him a pretty likable guy in the second game. That is until he betrayed Arthur, but yeah. We got my boy Uncle here. What a great character, you know. Obviously, he was seen in Red Dead 1. And yeah, you know, it's just cool to see him back in Red Dead 2. Pretty much looks the same. This figure could work for both RDR1 or RDR2 for Uncle. But yeah, I got the dual model legs. I actually did swap out his hat. I used to have him have the longer brimmed hat. Now it's shorter, which is more accurate. And yeah, there's Uncle. A fabulously written character is Sadie Adler here. Her character was so cool. You know, at the beginning, whenever you save her from sort of the attack in Coulter, and then how she just sort of evolves into this crazy gunslinger is really cool. But yeah, I believe this is Ray's face that I used, and it works really well because it has the freckles that she has. This torso is from Ninjago City Gardens, which you can see behind me. And so is the hair, and I just painted it this sort of dirty blonde, which is perfect for Sadie. And yeah, then I gave him a rifle, or gave her a rifle, obviously. And yeah, just I love her character. Definitely my favorite female character in the game. Lenny! Yep, we got Lenny here. Pretty simple design. I believe that's Finn's face and hair. and then the torso and legs came from one of the Lone Ranger minifigures. But yeah, I think it looks great. He was such a good character. I think he was, other than Jack, he was the youngest in the gang, so really sad to see, what ended up happening to him. Here we have Trelawney, another cool character. He was sort of like a gypsy in the game, just sort of was with the gang sometimes, and other times he wasn't, but yeah, I also thought he had a cool accent. So yeah, pretty much I just used Tony Stark's face to sort of get his mustache situation, and then gave him some Lone Ranger, torso and legs from Lone Ranger, and then a top hat to finish things off as well with some white gloves. So yeah, pretty simple design, but yeah, Trelawney was a pretty cool character. Another minifigure I'm really proud of is Karen Jones. Whenever I first made my whole gang video, she was not in it because I did not have enough female faces, let alone a female face that had blonde eyebrows, because Karen is blonde. So I ended up, for my birthday, getting some parts to kind of finish off the gang, and yeah, so this minifigure pretty much uses two characters. Calamity Jones from the Lego Movie CMF series, and then I don't know who she is, but she's like some character from Harry Potter, very cheap minifigure, and you kind of just put it together and you get this perfect Karen Jones. This is based off of her, the time that she robbed the bank in Valentine, and yeah, I just think it works out really nice. Karen, I think, had a very interesting character as well, but she was definitely gone too soon. And then here we have sort of like the mom of the gang, the girl that kind of keeps everything in line, Miss Grimshaw. This design, I don't know if it's changed from my last video. I don't think it has. She's kind of a hard minifigure to make. I ended up using Cruella de Vil's face for her, just to kind of show that like over dramatized makeup that she wears, as well as the black dress and then the kind of crimson color torso. The hair, I tried. They don't really have a hairpiece that replicates Miss Grimshaw's look, but yeah. My thoughts about Miss Grimshaw, she really annoyed me. I don't know why, but she was just always telling Arthur to do stuff in camp, and I'm just like, girl, get out of my face, but that's just me. Sometimes I purposely antagonize her because I just really disliked Miss Grimshaw, and I've talked to people before, and a lot of people really like her. So if you do like her, I'm very glad that you like her, because I would rather not have to go through the pain that I went through that was Miss Grimshaw. But anyways, here we have John's wife, Abigail Marston. So pretty simple design. If you are wondering what her leg situation is, a lot of girls in the gang wear skirts, and in order to replicate a skirt, I just use a 1x2 brick with a 1x2 tile or plate, and then 1x1s at the bottom for the feet. So for her case, it is dark blue and then black for the feet, kind of to replicate shoes. But anyways, pretty simple design. I don't know what that face is from, but we got a bun hair, Anakin's pod racing torso, and then the skirt situation. Yeah, for Miss Grimshaw and Karen Jones, I did not use a skirt situation because they kind of wear more dresses. But yeah, so Abigail Marston, a lot of people, there's actually a lot of lore behind Abigail. If she was the rat the whole time, if she actually had Jack with Javier, just a bunch of stuff like that. And a lot of people don't like her. I like her, and that might just be my nostalgia for RDR1 kicking in, but I think that she was just trying her best, you know what I mean? She was not dealt the greatest hand in life, but she was just trying to get through, provide a life and for her family and Jack, or maybe not provide, but just be there for them. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Abigail. Here we got her son, Jack Marston. Yeah, Jack is such a cool character. I saw a theory the other day, and it was basically like all of Red Dead Redemption, but both 1 and 2, they all center around protecting Jack. The gang is together, and they all want to, get better lives ultimately, so that Jack can have a better life. And in RDR1, John is fighting for his family. And, you know, in the end, Jack doesn't end up becoming what they all fought for him not to become. He ends up becoming what they did not want him to become, which is a gunslinger. You know, a killer. And, you know, it's sad, but it's kind of like a tragedy. It's just cool to watch. Anyways, I kind of just went on a rant there. But here we have Jack Marston. This is based off of sort of his culture look with his blue button-up and a scarf. I give him this sort of, I think this might be Jay's from Ninjago, but it's just sort of like messy brown hair, which I think kind of replicates his like childlike messiness that he had. And yeah, so that is Jack from RDR2. I might make an RDR1 Jack. You know, now that I think about it, I probably could do that. But yeah, anyways. And obviously, the gangs need to eat sometimes. That's why we have Pearson here. Yeah, so this is Pearson. You know, he was the cook of the gang. And yeah, I mean, honestly, he really did not play a part in the gang other than being the cook. I don't really remember him tagging along for much of anything. But, you know, he was kind of just always back at the gang or back at the camp for emotional support. But, yeah, I think that I pretty much nailed this look for him. I used some Harry Potter minifigures hairpiece, which is exactly the kind of hair that Pearson had, except his is brown. So that's kind of the only inaccuracy. But other than that, got him a sweater and some pants and obviously a spoon. I would try to make him more chunky, but Lego minifigures don't work like that. So yeah, but I really like his character, and you know, I like how they added the little Easter egg at the end where he does work at the Rhodes General Store. Here we have Strauss. Now Strauss, I have some opinions on him. I think he's kind of the reason why Arthur ends up dying. You know, he kind of sends Arthur after his loan sharks, which is where he meets the guy that coughs in his face and gives him tuberculosis. So in a way, I kind of resent Strauss for that reason. You know, at the beginning of the game, he's sending you on all these missions, and Arthur ends up paying for that. So in that way, I don't like Strauss. But yeah, this is my design for him. Used Alfred's base. This is from a farmer CMF, and then kind of a combination of other stuff. I think the minifigure turned out pretty good. Just not really a fan of Strauss. Here we have Dutch's love interest, Molly O'Shea. I actually found her character to be kind of cool. She's one out of the two Irish people that were on the, I was gonna say on the team, but that were in the gang, which is kind of interesting, you know, the gang just happened to have two Irish people. But yeah, I think that she's a pretty cool character. Also, I did upgrade her from the last time that I showed her. This torso is from the Sagittarius CMF, and then again with the sort of skirt combo that I did for Abigail. And then I gave her the original Princess Leia's face, like whenever they first made them in flesh color, because it has like her red lipstick that Molly always wears, and then just some red hair to sort of, you know, try to capture her look. Which I think looks pretty good. This head's a little bit loose, but yeah, I think it's kind of cool. She's from Ireland. But you know, at the end, and I don't want to say anything too much, I might put a spoiler warning at the beginning of the video, but the emotion that she showed whenever she told the gang that she had told the Pinkertons, that actress killed that part. It was amazing. I mean, it was just crazy. And then to figure out that none of that was true, it was just nuts. But yeah, Molly O'Shea. Another great character is Tilly Jackson. You know, she didn't play a huge role in the game, but she was just always so sweet to Arthur, so sweet to everybody in the gang. And you know, in the end, whenever you figure out she like married a lawyer and was, you know, pregnant in Saint Denis, it was just cool to see that, you know, she kind of got like the good end of the stick whenever it comes to outcomes in the game, which was really cool. I always really liked her skirt and dress sort of thing that she wore, the baby yellow sort of, or pastel yellow. So I replicated that with the skirt technique again, and then I ended up giving her Sometimes she would wear like a gray sort of jacket sweater combination thing, so I used Hermione Granger's torso for that. And then I believe this face is from the Hoth Battle Pack, and then I painted, this hair is perfect for her, but it was white, so I had to paint it black. And yeah, overall I'm really happy with this minifigure, and I think Tilly's a really cool character. Here's the other Irish person from the gang, that being Sean Maguire. He was just such a funny dude, you know, he was also pretty young, I think. Really sad to see him go the way he did, but I always thought he was kind of cool, and I think Arthur put in his journal he kind of viewed him as a little brother, so it's pretty sad that he had to die so soon, but it is what it is. This is sort of the design I came up with for him. The first video, well actually my first design for him was really, really bad. My second design, which was in this past summer, was also pretty bad, but it was better. And then after some eBay purchases and in-store pickups, I was able to kind of perfect the minifigure. The fact that LEGO has made a green bowler hat with red hair combo like this at this length is just crazy because it works perfectly for Sean. So it's just the perfect hairpiece. And then I gave him sort of just the rest of whatever he's got going on. And I think it looks pretty nice. Again, he's a pretty cool character. A sort of surprise addition to the gang is Kieran Duffy. I also think it's very cool that the gang sort of just picked up this random guy who was on the other side, or the other gang's team. Like, it's just, and then all of a sudden he's just a part of the gang. Like, it was just a really cool idea by Rockstar, and I think it's neat that they actually did that, and that they didn't just kill him off. Like, they kind of just kept him around, and then next thing you know, they're just together, or he's just a part of the gang. I also did hear that apparently Mary Beth and him sort of had a relationship, which I didn't even know. Like, I've been playing the game since day one, and I didn't even know this, but yeah, definitely probably the most gruesome death out of all the gang members. It was just crazy, but I also think it was kind of cool that Rockstar, you know, went that far, or to add that into the game, because it just brought out emotion, you know. So yeah, that's Kieran Duffy. For like how I made him and stuff, this is Butch Cavendish's face, which I think works great because it kind of shows his roughness. And then swept back hair, and then this is Han Solo's torso, and then these legs. So that's how I made him. And finally, we have Mary Beth. So she has also gone through upgrades compared to the last two times that I made her. Like I said earlier, whenever I first made my first video, I did not have Mary Beth in the video because I did not have enough female faces. Well, I went to the store and I did get another female face, so I was able to make Mary Beth. I believe that's Hermione Granger's face. But I think I made like a video showing me upgrading, but I've not made like a collective whole gang video having all of them in. So that's why I wanted to do this. But yeah, Mary Beth, also such a sweetheart. I remember there was like a cutscene where, or no, there was like a part of the game where we were like celebrating about something in the gang, and it gave you the option, or like everybody was like partying and stuff, and it gave you the option to be able to dance with her. So Arthur and her danced, and it was just really sweet. You know, she was always kind of like a little sister to Arthur, and she ended up becoming a best-selling, like, or like a famous book author, you know, in her future, which is pretty cool. As for how I made her, I have, this is like a newer dress piece where it's like actually sloped like a dress should be, which I think is pretty cool. So I used that, and then Black Widow's torso. This is a like some sort of wraparound cape, but it works because they always kind of wrap their like cardigans over their neck, so that's sort of what that's supposed to represent. And then the Queen CMF hairpiece, which is exactly like her hair. It's just a little bit red. Her hair's more brown, but I think it works well. So there's Mary Beth. And there we have it. That was all gang members from Red Dead Redemption 2 in LEGO. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video because since my last video over the summer, I'd say probably over half of these minifigures have undergone upgrades, and I kind of just wanted to make a full video showing what I had done to these minifigures to kind of make them the best they could be. I'm really proud of them, and I just think it's really cool that I finally now have all the gang members to the best that I can make them. And yeah, I love this game so much. It's my favorite video game that I've ever played, and to have them in Lego is just very cool to me. So if you guys did go and enjoy the video, make sure to hit like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.